mistakes that sellers are making to sell their house for less dollar than they should or could. First mistake is not considering to stage their property. Selling a house vacant, you see all the issues, every little detail. The buyer walks through and the eye finds every little issue with the house. When your house is staged with your own furniture, or even better, you already moved out and we get a stager in the property, yes, you pay for staging, but usually you see a return on that expense, especially in higher price points and also especially when your house has a funky floor plan. Point number 2 of seller mistakes. We have a list of repairs when we live in a house where we know the gutters are hanging a little bit, or one sink is draining a little bit too slow, little things like that that we know are a little bit like an obstacle in our house. But the buyer, when they do the walkthrough, they do not even know, they are not disturbed. We have the seller's disclosure uploaded where all the details are listed about the house. But as a seller, if you start fixing up all those little things that you know about your house that the buyer might be totally fine with, you're spending a whole lot of money, and not all of them we can recoup in closing. Okay. Point number 3 is the sellers make sometimes the mistake number 3 is to do a home inspection. In a home inspection, a professional home inspector looks at your house for 2-3 hours. When we have a pool or large property, it can definitely be even more, and they look at every detail. That comes with a problem because now the home inspector finds issues that the seller did not even know about, and in the seller's disclosure, he would not even have to disclose it. But now, as he's aware of it after the home inspection, he's aware of it, and we need to disclose every single detail or even upload the home inspection report. That is again like point number 2. You're spending a whole lot of money for many little details that you would not have to fix. We can simply wait for the buyer's home inspection and then fix whatever they complain about it, or we simply usually find a financial agreement. You give a certain amount towards closing cost or reduce the sales price by that amount, and 99.9% that is the cheaper solution compared to fixing up everything. Okay, makes sense. Point number 4, uncalled upgrades. Maybe you think a certain granite is fantastic, or a purple carpet or green walls are just so cozy. And the buyer looks at your house and says, the house is nice, I like the floor plan, love the backyard, I love the location, but the carpet is awful. So when we fix up things, what we try to please as many people as possible, or how I call it, stay cookie cutter. Most of the properties are made in a way that we fix it up that they please the wider crowd. Do a light colored carpet, nothing that stands out we don't want to get creative, okay? We don't need graphic patterns on the wall, etc., okay? The 2 investments that we usually do see a return on is carpet and paint. When you have a yucky carpet and your walls are looking awful, that is like magic eraser, how I call it. So when you fix up your property with new paint and new carpet, those 2 are very affordable, and let's say you spend $1,000 on it, usually you make back more than $1,000. Of course, the price depends on the property size. I right now have a house 3,500 square foot. I put in new carpet, I paid just around $4,000, and the house feels crisp and fresh, and that was the best investment. I personally did it after I purchased my current house because I have a magic eraser in my head. I can imagine how a property looks like with a crisp, fresh carpet and not beige walls but light gray or whatever is your taste. But most of the buyers, they just feel turned off, and for that reason it would be a good idea to get that set up, okay? Yeah, specific taste I already mentioned. Seller repair, doing everything ahead of time. Those are probably the 5 top topics of things that the seller should be aware when listing a home. And you also work with an expert for that very reason, because when I do a listing presentation with you at your house, I usually look at the market already ahead of time. I know what's sold in your neighborhood. I know the competition that is under contract and also the competition that is active, because those that are pending and heading towards closing table right now in your neighborhood, they can definitely fall out of contract and become our competition again. And we also want to look at the pending to see what actually went under contract and assume what kind of price they're getting for. When they're pending, we don't know exactly the price, what they executed for, except a good agent calls the buyer's agent and maybe finds out. Officially, we're not supposed to disclose that, but sometimes we can make a little bit of magic happen. Yeah, so those are the 5 things that you should definitely not do wrong when selling a house. Talk to your trusted real estate agent. My name is Julia Jordan with Keller Williams The Woodlands. Out of the wider Houston area, I would be honored to help you, your family and friends, so that you know that they're in the best hands. Okay, bye bye, have a good day.